But let's talk about how your dad influenced you.
Well, my father was a very simple, unassuming, faith-filled man, as was my mother.
Right?
We'll keep it separate. He had a great sense of humor. He was a wonderful speaker. His sermons were so wonderful in church. He never wrote out a sermon. He might have 2 or 3 lines written on a card of 3 major points that he wanted to make in that sermon.
Okay.
And, of course, when we were growing up and we all wanted to run to the country club and play tennis, we used to say to Daddy, would you please shorten it up this Sunday because we have a tennis game we want to get. But we all, we taught Sunday school, we sang in the choir, we even were called into service to clean the church if the cleaning people didn't show up. And he just was a fantastic human being. I remember going into his study one day, his little office, like office library, because I had fallen through a skylight when I was a little girl and splashed my left leg from the knee to the ankle very badly.
Gee.
And when you're young, those scars are awful. You know, they're just a bright purpley red.
Yes.
And so I had gotten into the habit of whenever I went in a room with strangers, I would sit on that leg so people wouldn't look at it. And I went in and said, you know, all my girlfriends, their legs are perfect and they're, you know, don't have ugly scars and all. And I just, you know, was feeling very, I guess, sorry for myself. And he said to me, well, he said, now that's a nice lesson for you to learn in life. He said, God only gives problems, difficulties, to the people that can bear them. And he knew you were strong and you could bear this. And he said, as you go through life, you will listen to people complain and tell you their problems that to you are so simple and so absurd to even pay any attention to. But to them, they are very real. But that's all that they can handle. And any problems and difficulties that you run into in your life as you grow older, you will know that God gave them to you because he knew you could handle them.
What a wonderful explanation to give to a child.
Isn't that wonderful?
Wonderful.
I never, ever forgot it.
Boy, what advice. Now, Miss Meadows, did he, from what my research, your dad even worked in China, didn't he?
He was a missionary in China.
Yes. Was it in Wuchang?
Wuchang, yeah.
Okay. And why China? Did the church send him there as a missionary? Is that what happened?
Well, he and my mother were married in Japan. Mother went out to meet him in Japan.
Okay.
And I don't really remember whether they chose it. They might have chosen it themselves, or the church might have had that need at that time for someone to go to China. But thank God they did, because they were there for about at least 14 years.
That long?
Oh, yeah.
Boy.
And my 2 oldest brothers, my oldest brother went to boarding school out there.
Right.
And he, Frank Cotter and Ed Cotter, my 2 brothers, were born there. My sister Jane was born in China.
Right.
And I was conceived in China, but came back to America. My parents came back on a trip, and I was born in New York. And then I went out when I was just a little tiny baby, I guess a couple of months old.
Yes.
So the things that I remember are all, you know, dumb, childish things. I used to think that I remembered all these wonderful stories I would tell people, and when I was about out of school, I realized that they were stories I had heard told so many times, I thought I remembered them.
Yes, you get that way, don't you?
Oh, sure.
How much older are Frank and Edward than you and your sister?
Oh, they're much older than we are.
What would be the difference in ages?
Difference in ages? Well, let me see. The difference in their ages
Right.
were, Frank was, I think, 2 years older than Ed.
Okay.
Ed was about 8 years older than Jane.
Gee.
Yeah.
Big stretch in there.
Yeah.